Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen, bakhair rakale, washmale, churishum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to World This Morning with Shiza Hashmi, and because it's only Shiza Hashmi today, that is the reason I had to cut down on all the amazing greetings that we call out to you every morning, because we open our windows of love and hope to more than 40 countries in the world. Yes, you are watching PTV World, ladies and gentlemen. Today happens to be Thursday, one of my absolutely favorite days, because just one more day to go to the weekend. But of course, I had some other, some fun messages to share with you early in the morning, but something that I came across in the morning changed my mind. So I am going to take you down a sort of a depressing lane, but this is something so important that we need to talk about. I was in conversation with one of my colleagues here at PTV, and of course, she was discussing some of the things that she's been going through lately. Unfortunately, a harsh time, let's say, of her life. You have no idea how much your words can ruin someone's personality or their life or their happiness. I mean, we are so, as a community, as a society, we are so easy in putting labels on people, in telling someone what's not good for them, or in just pointing fingers at people, ye galat ho gaya, wo galat ho gaya, or stereotyping people, or, stigmatizing things. We absolutely forget, or we do not care about how the other person's going to feel about it. So there's this very simple request to all of you out there who are listening. I'm pretty sure the students are not, because schools have reopened. A good day for parents out there. But I think you really have to spread this message wherever you come across it. Do not call people names or put labels onto them, the ones especially which you don't want to be called. I mean, if it's okay if it's someone else's second marriage. It's okay if someone is divorced. It's absolutely okay if someone's working a night shift. It's okay if someone's driving a small car. I mean, you really don't know what someone's going through in their own personal life, in their own personal capacity. So please do not bring someone down. Instead, spread happiness. Maybe hug them, maybe share a sweet memory with them, share a sweet thought. And that is how you should definitely start your day. And speaking of, sharing a sweet thought, it reminds me, I came across the news on Twitter in the morning. This has been on the news for quite some time now, but it was interesting to read, especially today, that almost 2,000 people have enrolled in a one-way trip to colonize Mars that will happen in 2030, and the people will definitely be shortlisted to I don't know, 25 probably, not really sure. We'll speak about that. But imagine more than 2,000 entries already. If I were to think about it, I would never, because imagine, first of all, it's a one-way trip. First reason. The second being, probably I'm not that interested into aerospace or whatnot, but I'm here to learn. That is why we're all here for. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a trailer for you. It's a film that will definitely give away something, half of what we are talking about. But before we do watch the trailer, I have to talk about how amazing, how energized, how vibrant, and how responsible Pakistani youth is. So just a little hint, I have two amazing Pakistani youth with me over here in the studio today. One of them is going to speak about how we can realize and attain the SDGs for 2030 that we have all over the globe, and the other one aspires to be an astronaut. Let's take a look at the trailer first. Okay, this is Gravity for you, ladies and gentlemen.
So where's home, Dr. Stone?
Lake Zurich, Illinois.
Is there somebody down there looking up, thinking about you?
I got a daughter. A little girl with brown hair. Tell her that I'm not quitting.
This was Gravity for you, ladies and gentlemen. So time now to introduce my amazing guest to you. On my right-hand side, we've been joined by someone who happens to be the Executive Director of SDG Youth Squad. What is that? We will definitely ask him. He's none other than Sarmat Shabazz Bhutta. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invitation.
It was absolutely our pleasure. Next to Sarmat, we have, this person is the one I was speaking about who aspires to be an astronaut. He is none other than someone who happens to be an aerospace engineer, ready to start his master's in, again, aerospace something. I will definitely ask what it is. Syed Shan Ali Shah. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Okay, so gentlemen, to begin with, talk about your aspirations. You are a bachelor student right now, I understand that. What are you studying? And SDG Youth Squad. We do realize both of these things separately, SDGs and Youth Squad. But what is it? What do you guys do?
Okay, well, first of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation. And secondly, I would just like to add this thing that I'm sitting here because of my parents, my mentors, and my friends.
That's so sweet.
I would like to give this achievement and pay honor to my parents, my mentors, and my friends. Secondly, coming back to the question, you asked me what I'm doing. Well, I'm doing electrical engineering from Constituency Islamabad. I'm still a bachelor student.
Okay.
And talking about the SDGs and the Youth Squad, SDGs are the United Nations 2030 agenda for the sustainable development.
Yes.
It is basically an agenda which is going to turn the developing countries into the developed country.
Okay.
Just like Pakistan becoming just like Sweden.
Oh,
there's no plastic pollution, there's no crime rate, the crime rate is really low and things are going really smooth. And the Youth Squad, well, SDGs Youth Squad means that we are going to localize and mobilize the youth for the SDGs. We're going to use the youth's power for the localization of the SDGs in Pakistan.
Oh, that's perfect. I have so many questions for you. We will definitely get to that. But I think he's absolutely right. I mean, he himself happens to be, what, 21 years of age?
Yeah.
That is so impressive. I mean, someone so young coming up with an idea and then realizing that these are some of the things that Pakistan needs to really fulfill by 2030. And especially when we are looking at Pakistan, 64% of the population is the youth.
Exactly.
So I think the target is absolutely right. Those are the ones we need to mobilize. Coming on to you, Sean, you are done with your bachelor's.
Yes.
And you are on to your next mission. Tell me all about it. And I hear you are the first Pakistani student ever to go abroad for to study in a space organization.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, you have heard right. First of all, I would like to thank the PTV World for providing me the platform.
Our pleasure.
So after that, I would like to share some news that here I am today is because of only my parents.
Yeah.
My parents have made many sacrifices to allow me to focus on education throughout my entire life. So after that, I always dreamed of becoming an astronaut, basically, yes. So I have completed my bachelor's in 2017 in aerospace engineering from Institute of Space Technology.
Nice.
So now I'm going for the Master of Space Studies at International Space University. So I am very proud to say that I am the very first Pakistani who will be attending this degree, Master in Space Studies at International Space University.
That's amazing. We are so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I have completed 6 internships during my bachelor studies.
Wow.
I have done NASA online courses.
NASA courses, that's amazing.
From MIT.
Wow.
So that courses helped me a lot to groom my knowledge and practically learn everything. So that's the...
Okay, so is it safe to say that, you know, ever since you were young, you always said you wanted to be an astronaut? Because when I was young, probably in my early years, I was like, oh, I want to be a pilot. And then later on, I was like, I want to be a doctor. I was always confused. You always knew what you wanted to be?
Yeah, I will share you the story that how I inspired by this field.
Yeah.
I used to read a chapter of solar system at the end of science subject book when I was in 8th standard. So that chapter inspired me to aerospace field. So I thought that there can be something new, innovative that I can do in this field. I asked from the parents that I want to do this field. Then my father said that, what is this field all about?
Right.
Will you tie the nut and bolts in space?
Because this is not conventional. You really have to make people understand what this is about.
It's not an easy field. So I said to him that I want to do this. I want to do in this field. So he said that okay, if you choose this field, then you have to work hard.
Which is true.
Yeah, which is true. So, alhamdulillah, inshallah, I will be going there and
all
do
right.
this
I
field.
have a question for you, though. I know this might be hypothetical, but I really do need an answer. We just watched this trailer from the movie, right? If you were ever to be in such a situation, would you panic? What would you do?
Basically, astronaut life is very thrilling and challenging.
Yes, indeed.
So, but I like challenges.
Oh, okay.
When I was watching the trailer Gravity. That when I see the movie again and again, it amazed me a lot.
Yeah.
That astronaut that flown away, she basically the space debris in the universe.
Yeah.
Is the space debris is traveling at a very high speed.
Okay.
Space debris in the movie hit their space shuttle, so their shuttle was destroyed. So in this movie, there is a concept that how the astronaut is how the astronaut came back to Earth, how he struggled hard. So it's very interesting field.
Indeed it is. Now coming back to you, Sarmad, when we're talking about the SDGs 2030, there must be this one SDG on the list that you feel very deeply about. I mean, of course, you really need Pakistan to be progressive and, you know, be developed and whatnot, but this one that covers all of those and it's close to your heart.
Well, I would say that all the SDGs have some sort of importance.
Definitely.
And there are 17 goals. But one of the most important goal and one of the most interconnected goal is SDG number 16, that is peace, justice and strong institution.
Wow.
Just like if you need no poverty in the community and if you want zero hunger, then that would immediately and ultimately leads to the peace. That is the first word of the peace, just in strong institution. And if you want the equality and equity in the workplaces and in the community, that would ultimately lead to the strong institutions and justice,
definitely.
the social justice even.
I think I agree with you, because when you are talking about justice and strong institutions, if we have both of these things in place, I don't think anyone is going to have any grievances to start any internal conflict or, you know, to create any sort of unrest, right? When one is going to be at peace.
Exactly.
So now I'm going to share a news with you. I'm sure both of you know, and both of you are related to this in one way or another. For the past 2 days on the media, we have been seeing the Amazon forests burning, the Brazilian Amazon forests. They have been burning for quite some weeks now, but there was no media coverage, and this was because of this space station that took images from the space and then shared on the, you know, conventional media that, hey, listen, this is what's going on, and you guys are not paying special attention to it. Let's start with you. I mean, climate change and whatnot. How important is it? Although we are not directly, I mean, in contact with, let's say, physical contact with it, but we are affected by it. 20% of world's oxygen is produced by the Amazon.
Exactly. Well, it is in the Brazil. In the American side, I would say. We are actually related to the climate action, climate change, and there is a specific goal for it as well. That is the 13th goal, that is in climate action. Well, I would say that because of the poor regulation from the media and the people at the Brazil and at the world, that they are not paying attention on the climate change. Even if there are some sort of you can say sources that are putting the hurdles between the climate actions and how we can take over the disastrous effects of the climate change. And even you know that the ice over the Antarctica is breaking. It is in the past, I would say 10 years. I read the research that it said that 20 million tons of ice has been melted.
Wow, in a decade alone, imagine that. We are monsters.
That is the disastrous effect of the climate change in the world, and it is happening.
It is also impacting each and every single one of us. This is not only about Brazilians, or this is not only about people belonging to or living near the Antarctic or the Arctic regions, but coming to you. Do you think, or do you feel like, I mean, first of all, we really have to pay a hats off to these space agencies that are putting out such pictures. And this was also because of the space agencies. When the Pulwama attack happened, it was the images that actually, that had shown the real face of our hostile neighbor, that no, damage was there, everything. First of all, the need of such institutions in the world.
Yes.
And second, why don't we have any I'm not saying why don't we have any in Pakistan, but how come Pakistan is not an essential part of it?
Pakistan is very lacking behind in the space technology field. I think we have to work so much hard in this field that students also have to work hard. Agencies and government organizations like SPD organizations have to work hard in this field. So we can, I think, groom the personality of the students in the space field by arranging the seminars, conferences, and space summer schools in the universities. Our university, from where I have graduated in, Institute of Space Technology, they have held space summer school of 2 weeks. Now they have started in 2017. Every year they invite the 12th grade and 10th grade students to summer schools to aware about the space field and bring their inspiration.
Wow, that's amazing, right?
Yes, that's a very good step. And I also want to share some news that I like conferences. Our class went to the ComStack Islamabad. There was a delegation, international delegation related to space. So I attended the international conference on space. There was, as you mentioned, that 2,000 people have been shortlisted in one mission to Mars. Now I have read on somewhere that 100 candidates are finalized. So in 100 of them, there is one Pakistani national, and his name is Dr. George Ford.
Okay.
He's an Army Aviation retired pilot. So he was also there in the conference. We met him with the discussion that how you will go to Mars, what are your plannings and how you are preparing. So he said that it is almost around 8-year training.
Wow.
So
I mean, it's not a joke, right?
It's not a
literally
joke.
not that you apply and you're like, okay, let's pack my bags and let's go.
And also we attended the astronaut training program. There was a Malaysian astronaut, Malaysian astronaut who has been to International Space Station. He was a participant. So he showed his film at how he become a star in this field, and that footage has also inspired us a lot.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
So, gentlemen, if you were, given the option of going on a one-way trip to colonize Mars, would you? I wouldn't. To be honest, I wouldn't.
I won't go.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about you?
I would take it as a challenge. I will really appreciate to go.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean,
Because
challenge is one thing, but when you know this is a one-way trip and you don't know if it's going to work or not, or I mean, of course, this is a first step for the planet Earth, but
I would like to add this, that
Yeah.
it depends on the reliable source.
Okay,
If
okay.
Elon Musk is going, I'm definitely
you're game.
going. Yeah.
That makes
Yes.
perfect sense. So you need someone trustable.
Basically, I want to add something in this, that on going to Mars, you can imagine, do you have any idea how much time it takes to go to Mars?
I mean, we do have probably a rough idea of some years.
It takes 1 complete year to go to Mars.
Wow.
In the spacecraft. Also, there are different types of spacecraft.
Yeah.
Space shuttle, spacecraft,
Okay.
and also the rocket that goes to the moon is Apollo spacecraft.
All right.
And the space shuttle that goes to the Mars is Orion spacecraft.
Okay.
There are some kinds of rockets and spacecraft that they perform their own function.
All right, all
Yes.
right. So we're all here to learn. Also, in 2022, I think the first Pakistani ever is going to space,
Yes.
right?
In collaboration with China.
Oh, in collaboration with China, of course, our time-tested friend. But coming to you, you are working in collaboration with the government agencies and everything
Yeah.
to realize the SDGs and to bring the youth on par with it. How is that going? Can you share some of the projects that you guys have been working on?
Well, first of all, the facts are the initials. But the thing is that Pakistan's parliament was the first parliament to accept the SDGs
Wow.
in the whole world.
We're
And
proud
right
of that,
now,
no?
right now, Pakistan is standing at the 127th number from 150 state.
That's embarrassing.
This is embarrassing, and this is bad
It
because
is.
we haven't accepted the SDGs on the local levels.
Okay.
Pakistan is struggling for the SDGs, for the implementation, for the localization of the SDGs. There are different SDGs task force, SDGs federal, SDGs support unit,
Right,
provincial
right.
SDGs support unit, and I would say that me and my organization and my colleagues are lucky enough to work with them. Secondly, we have done different sort of consultations, recommendations, events, conferences to mobilize the youth to pass the recommendation in the National Assembly and the Senate for the SDGs and how we are going to implement them. Why there is the need of the SDGs in Pakistan because of the you can say that the MDGs before the SDGs were not completed, the Millennium Development Goals, and now the SDGs is the only hope for the Pakistan to become a developed country.
Definitely.
We have done different conferences, seminars and workshops at different levels in the schools, in the colleges, in the universities to localize the youth and to aware the youth, because if you want to implement something, you must be aware of that thing.
Absolutely. And I think you are very right about it when you say awareness. That is one thing that we can definitely do, no matter if we're sitting at home, no matter if we're actually a part of a stable organization or whatnot, because just in the morning when I was reading about the Amazon fires and everything, I was, genuinely heartbroken, and I was asking myself, what is it that we as people can do? And I think awareness is the only answer, right?
This is the thing, because you are aware of that fire at the Amazon.
Right.
You cannot do anything, you cannot implement anything over there, but you can at least spread the words. And that is because of the awareness.
That is absolutely because of awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, I am having such a great time with these amazing gentlemen in my studio right now, having a great and informative conversation. Right now, we are heading out to a very short break, but when we come back, the conversation continues. Good morning.
Margalla Hills, the heaven of Islamabad, the abode of God, a place where you can explore your soul and meet power of natural elegance of mountains. Spread over an area of 12,605 hectares, the Margalla Range, the foothills of Himalayas, are youngest hills with an age of 5,000 years old. Margalla Hills are home to around 600 plant species, 250 bird varieties, 38 mammals, and 13 species of reptiles. Margalla Range is characterized by many valleys, scenic spots, and beautiful water streams, especially in the monsoon months. Famous for their tranquil environment and lush green natural splendor, Margalla Hills are a particular source of pride, harmony, and spiritual solace. For the residents of Islamabad, many of whom make it a weekly ritual to scale the various trails to Damaneko and Pir Suhawa. Margalla Hills send off its visitors with lasting trail of memories to relish in solitude and provide an escape from the relentless rhythm of life.
Welcome back to World This Morning, which is our Hashmi, ladies and gentlemen, where today we are in conversation with an aspiring astronaut and someone who I think it's safe to call a social activist. He really wants Pakistan to be a developed country. So, gentlemen, before we went out on a break, we were definitely discussing all the things that you guys have already done.
Yes.
But on a lighter note, this is a question for you. So if we were to look at the generation prior than ours, our parents, okay, so when they were in their mid-20s or when they were done with their degrees, the first thing that came to their mind or their parents' mind was, "Ab tu shaadi kar le yaar, kya tumne astronaut banna hai, ya kya tumne SDGs," you know, that one thing.
Yes, yes.
Did this happen to you? Did you have to fight for it? I know this doesn't generally happen, but who was there to like make you realize your dreams that forget shadi, forget all that stuff, this is what you have to get? Let's start with you.
Okay, Pakistan was actually motivation for me to begin such thing in my life. And yeah, my father, Chaudhry Shehnaz Gul, and my brother, my eldest brother, Chaudhry Fahd Bhutta, they always motivated me to do something in your life.
That's amazing.
Do something with the time you have right now, because after your youth is past, you have really less time. You have to take up the family, you have to take up the parents, you have to look at the jobs and different things. But at this time, you have to do something to remain the legend.
Wow.
And to remain your name in the centuries.
Absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. What about you, Shan?
Well, basically, the value of learning, education, and knowledge is something that I understood at a very young age.
Okay.
Because of my parents' love and sacrifice over the years, I have been able to devote my complete time to the education throughout my entire life. Basically, I will start from here that when I was a young kid, I was born in Sargodha.
Yeah.
We were from Sargodha. Then the main focus of my parents, especially my father,
Yes.
his main focus was on education. He thought that I will educate my children in a better way. So we moved from Sargodha to Islamabad. So he is the main primary inspiration of my life. when I discussed this field from my father, he said that you can achieve something in your life. When I dreamed of becoming astronaut, so he said that you can become astronaut one day, inshallah. So he helped me and motivated me a lot.
That's amazing. So guys, I think you will definitely agree with this. First of all, we are the privileged ones where our parents do realize that in our prime age, we really have to cover all these education things and everything, that the dreams, the goals that we have. Unfortunately, there are certain segments of Pakistan, of the society in Pakistan, that are not privileged enough to realize their dreams, to, even go to schools, let alone universities. So I really hope and pray for all the kids out there who've never seen the face of school, who've never seen the face of books, that they do come across all of these. They do receive the education that they deserve, that the one that they need. But now coming on to you, Sarmad, a lot of people out there, when we are still talking about the youth, don't even know what SDGs stand for. And I am very, I'm steadfast in this when I'm saying this, because I have met those people. I try to speak about these things and they are so ignorant, I don't know where to go. So if you were to convince them or just, make them understand how important all these things are, what would you say to them?
Okay, I would say that this is the base, this is the agenda for the development. SDGs are the Sustainable Development Goals. Very first thing, abbreviation is very important, and it actually shows that is the difference between the MDGs and the SDGs. The SDGs are going to be sustained, going to be maintained. Millennium Development Goals were not able to be maintained by Pakistan and by the other countries as well.
We're not probably sustainable, which is why we need SDGs.
We need the SDGs, that sustainable word in there. I would convince them for the implementation, not even for the implementation, just for the awareness, because implementation is done by the government, by the executive branch of the government, I would say, and legislation is done by the legislature and the judiciary and different things like that. But to convince them, I would say that if you want to see your next generation to be privileged enough and to be on the higher level from you, then you must adopt this agenda or must adopt the development of the country.
Absolutely.
Because we are really back from the other country.
I agree with that.
The other countries are really far away and far ahead from us. And this is really important for us to take care of these sort of things.
Thank you so much for saying that, Samrit. But moving on to you, Shan. Now, for all the youth that aspires to be, or probably somewhere in their mind, they do have a small dream of probably being an astronaut or be in, the space agency in any sort of way, tell them about NASA, tell them about your dreams, tell them how it is to be an astronaut.
Okay. The main thing about astronaut, basically astronaut is a person who fly toward 80 kilometers above the Earth's surface. This is the definition of an astronaut.
Okay.
Basically, the astronaut deals with the spacewalk and other duties he has to perform. Basically, the NASA is the very top agency in the world, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. They have so much research projects going on. I used to read their projects daily and on daily basis on the internet, and I also groomed up my knowledge by visiting their sites and programs. I used to research about astronauts and free programs in my free time. So International Space Station, this is the International Space Station, is a collaborative joint project of 15 nations. They have some agreements with the countries, European countries and the other countries also. So basically astronaut life is that when they are living above, ISS is about 600 kilometers above the Earth's surface. There is no gravity.
Right.
There is no gravity. So it is a very interesting. The astronauts have to live in the zero gravity. So this life is also amazing. The astronauts stay about 6 months in the space station.
Wow.
When they are launched from the Earth.
Right.
Then they return back, and the NASA does some research and test on them in the labs. That how space environment is interacting on their bodies psychologically, physically, and neurophysically.
Right.
So this is a very their project is very interesting.
It is definitely interesting. And thank you so much for enlightening us about this, because this is so interesting for all the students out there who are probably seeking to venture into this field. Gentlemen, we have a segment in our show. It's called Picture of the Day. So we're going to play a picture on the screen, and the first thing that comes to your mind, we will discuss it, okay? Can we have the photo, please? Okay, so what comes to your mind, Sarmad?
Education, I would say.
Education, okay. That makes sense. I just absolutely love the aesthetics of the
newspaper or something.
I think
that's a rapper or what?
I think I considered it as a hobby. He used to research he used to read the papers.
Paper and that's reading. That's good. A morning newspaper
That
or
rabbit is
something?
not quite enough educated to read newspaper. I am amazed
So
to
I
see
think
that.
it's a wrapper of something. So basically, there are two things that we're looking at over
Oh,
here. First of all,
I
stop
realize.
plastic pollution, of course.
Yeah.
He is putting that into dustbin.
Right, he's
Yeah,
actually,
I
picking
caught
it
it.
up to probably throw it away, or
yeah.
if not,
Responsible.
he's turning that into something readable. So this is actually a responsible squirrel that we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. For all the people out there who do go to, public places and whatnot and litter around every single time, this is a message for all of you. I mean, this litter creature is probably even more responsible than us. Okay, back to our segment now. We're done with the squirrel, yes. So coming on to you, Sean, I see that you seek a lot of inspiration from your father, and he is what, a police officer?
Yes, my father is basically officer and senior patrol officer in National Highways and Pakistan Motor Police.
Oh, okay, very
Yeah,
nice.
he is a very kind person.
Yeah.
He used to help the people a lot, and he's a very hardworking. I can only say.
I
a very
definitely agree
hardworking
with that
person.
because when you're looking at the policemen, and especially when the department that you're talking about, there is just so much going on every single second, and we as normal people cannot see that because we're not in that environment. I think we do have a video from that as well. Let me know if we do. If not, we're still in conversation with Sarmad over here. Now, towards the very end, Sarmad, for all the people out there, I know you've already spoken to them about how they should definitely realize the SDGs, but talk to the universities. Talk to your fellow students, talk to the students of all the other universities, how they can be a part of SDG Youth Squad if they want to be, and if they don't want to be, what is the part that they can play?
Okay. For the SDG Youth Squad, we have different application forms. You have to do the different requirements. You have to go to the legalities and different things just to become a part of the Youth Squad. But at your own individual level, I would say that you should start working on the social media, at least on the social media, because social media breaks the borders and it can show the positive image of Pakistan in all around the world. It can help you in the awareness, even in the implementation. The social media can help you in the implementation. You can launch different courses. You can attend different courses by the United Nations. I have represented Pakistan at the United Nations headquarters back in New York City, Manhattan.
Oh,
and,
you have actually represented Pakistan in about 24 countries, if I'm not wrong.
Not 24, that's huge, but 4 to 5 countries.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah.
Still amazing.
Yeah,
so
thank
what?
you.
They were conferences, right?
Yeah, there were different conferences, workshops, forums, youth forums. I've been to Russia, I've been to Qatar, been to Malaysia, I've been to United States of America, and there were different courses over there, different recommendations. I've studied at MIT, I've studied at University of Massachusetts. I had a course on the public policy making back in University of Massachusetts. I was awarded a degree from over there.
Okay, so since you have represented Pakistan in international conferences as well, how do you feel like the international organizations or the students are taking Pakistan as a progressive country?
Oh, yeah, this is a really important question, I would say. I recently came back from America, and we had a activity over there with the old people, and one of the old women asked me, "Do you have camels in Islamabad?" And I was like, "No, we don't have camels in Islamabad." And
this sounds Arab.
Yeah, that is because we are linked because we are labeled as a Muslim country, and most of the Muslim countries are Arab, you can say, or even people know Muslims as Arab,
as
the gesture and the get-up and everything. I showed them the video of Islamabad, the good videos from our really good filmmakers and people over here, vloggers and bloggers, and they were really amazed that Islamabad is a really good city. Secondly, they see Pakistan as a progressive country because youth of Pakistan is really important to represent Pakistan in different forums. Like me, like different people over there, they represent the Pakistan on the really high notes.
Okay.
And this is really important for the Pakistan, for our country, and for the individuals as well, and for ourselves to represent and to retain that respect, that dignity we have in our minds and we have in our hearts for the Pakistan.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for saying that. Moving on to you, Sean. You are going to France to study?
Yes.
Tell me about this university that you're going to. Tell me all about it.
I have applied for the Master of Space Studies at the International Space University. So, Alhamdulillah, when I was an excellent profile. So, because of internships, international memberships,
and diplomas you've done as well with
NASA courses. So, they have agreed to accept me as a master student.
Wow.
Basically, this International Space University ensures the global leaders of space community by providing the international programs to students and space professionals in the international environment. Basically, this university is considered to be the best university in the aerospace world.
Yes, indeed.
So I am very proud to, as I said before, that I am the first Pakistani, inshallah, who will be studying master degree there.
Yes.
And I also want to add something, that I am the only one Pakistani selected among 70 international students in the world.
Wow, that is
So-
a moment of pride, yes.
Yeah, I will inshallah make Pakistan proud over there. So the chancellor of this university, International Space University, is Dr. Buzz Aldrin, who went with Neil Armstrong for the first moon landing.
Oh, that's
He's
amazing.
the chancellor over there. This university has very much links with the NASA.
Right.
The students only enrolled in this university can do internships in NASA.
Okay.
So this is a very great opportunity.
Right. So,
So-
Sean, here's my question for you. Was this a scholarship? Is it fully funded? Tell me all about it.
Basically, the university has funded me half fees.
Okay.
The tuition fees of this university is very high.
Yeah.
That's why the students are, because of the financial lack of the financial assistance and
Yes.
needs, they don't pursue over there the education.
So, okay, just give me 1 minute, because when we're looking at Syed Shan Ali Shah over here, ladies and gentlemen, as you very rightly mentioned, he is just one Pakistani to be selected from 70 internationals and represent Pakistan and learn from that university, which has, like, of course, a clear-cut chance of him, you know, living his dream of being an astronaut, inshallah. But there's a certain sort of assistance that he requires from the government sector, from the government itself. And I think Shan is one of the people who are really deserving in this matter. I think, Sarmad, you will agree with me as
Yeah,
well.
definitely,
So, Shan,
yes.
please go ahead and speak to the concerned authorities of all the aid that you need.
Basically, the university has funded me half tuition fees.
Okay.
So I am required to pay half tuition fee, the remaining.
All
There is a
right.
Royal Aeronautical Society that has covered some part of my tuition fee. So I
Right.
have to secure also living expenses with some of the tuition fees. So I request the Prime Minister of Pakistan, the government of Pakistan, to support me in any way so that I can live my dream and make Pakistan proud.
Absolutely amazing. Inshallah, definitely you will make Pakistan
Inshallah.
proud, and we cannot wait to see you as an astronaut. Good luck
Inshallah.
for that.
Thank
Towards
you.
the end, Sarmad, if I were to ask you who is Sarmad 5 or 10 years down the lane, who is Sarmad?
Human rights practitioner, and I would say a representative of Pakistan in the United Nations.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And I would say that I will be going to to the competitive exam, and I will start the implementation that I have in my mind for the betterment of the community.
That is absolutely amazing. Good luck to both of you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for enlightening me and my audience early in the morning, especially about so many things, about SDGs, about aerospace, about whatnot. And Sarmad, you mentioned you are going to hold the CSS exam, if I'm
Yeah.
not wrong. You know what? When I was graduating, I had achieved some things, but my dad was like, "Muqable ka imtihan, CSS is the thing that every Pakistani should
Yeah.
definitely go through." So I'm really proud that you're doing that, because that is how to be a part of the system, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can make a change. I mean, it's really, really easy for people like me or like you to sit out there and be like, system intihai ganda hai, you know, things are wrong with the roads, things are wrong with people's mentality, whatnot. You really have to make your own hands dirty in cleaning your own house. If there's anything you need to write to us, write on our Facebook page with the name of World This Morning, on Twitter, World This Morning without a G, Daily Motion on YouTube, also World This Morning. Catch the repeat at 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, take care. Good morning.